All right, 2019 Cal Aggie Folsom Crit. Welcome to the Between Two Wheels podcast video. This is Tyler Janke. Going to give you a little behind the scenes of the race at Cal Aggie, the Pro 1-2-3 Crit. Happened on the 26th of February. So first of all, this is really not going to be a breakdown of the race itself so much as cornering. You want to win a crit, you want to do well in a crit, you want to save energy in a crit. Let's talk about cornering. So we're going to focus on this one. First of all, I'm going to give you here a first lap of the Cal Aggie Crit. It's down in Land Park, Sacramento, California. We're going to go through, going to follow it at least one entire lap. But then what I'm going to focus on is basically every corner on the backside. Well, let me get this straight. So first of all, I did not, my camera, much like my legs, ran out with about 2 to go. So I'm not giving you the finish. We'll talk about who wins the race here and all. But what I kind of wanted to break down was getting through corners. My fitness is minimal compared to most of these guys. I'm a little older. I come into the day here in the crit and did a ride in the morning, did the Masters 35, and then I worked on the P12 crit and actually was feeling a lot better. So how do you get through races like that, being able to save a lot of energy and do the best? So right up here, you're going to start seeing us. We take a little turn. It's a little right before those gates are. We're going to do a hard left-hand corner, and then it goes around this one section. And so that is the corner I'm going to focus on for this entire race. Left-hand turn here. People getting up and out of the saddle. And as you can see, you can pretty much pedal through this the whole way. You're going to see some people having some problems on this corner. You're going to see some other people doing well. And then you're going to be able to see some people moving up. And my goal in this whole section from that start there right where the gate was to this left-hand corner here is how many wheels can I always move up if I'm having trouble. Getting in position on those. This is really critical for the finish portion because then you're going to have this come down. It's going to take a right-hand turn, and then you have about a 400 and plus around that meters stretch of the sprint finish. So a lot of good teams out there this week. You have a mixture, so you get some Cat 3s in there. You get some 1s and 2s teams. You get some 3s teams. You get some Masters guys that are gone earlier in the day, and we had a pretty good size field. All right, so we're almost getting into an entire lap shown here, so you can see exactly what this field is like. It's not in this course. It's not super technical. For me, I prefer a technical race because I like to get up front. I like to hold wheels, and you're going to see kind of my strategy here of going through this. And you got Timmy Bauer over here on the left-hand side, dive performance guys. So boom, one lap done. Let's get right into the first time we come around this corner. All right, so the kind of the idea here is you swing a little bit too wide, you're going to have a little rut there. I like to take this in, and you got a Gavin, I think, over here. Some of the Davis kids over here. I have a little run-in a little later on with some of the gentlemen there. But I don't want to call anybody out for necessarily their bad racing. For me, it's all about what can you do around these corners to make sure you're moving up. There's a few different strategies to do, and to always fill gaps. That one, pretty smooth, nothing really big to it. We got over here Mike Spikes only had one contender. Matt Chatleong had the Davis team here, Team Swift. Smooth right through the middle, no big deal on this effort. A main riders coming through with Robert Lander. And see, look, you're going to start seeing, as you will with the crit, same guys. You always know who, well, you start to figure out who to stay away from, who not to worry about. Chatleong, Robert Lander, never have problems with. Always good guys to hang on the wheels, and sometimes you're going to see gaps form. The dive performance guys, once again, no problems with them either. On the back section, this is actually the way I love to take this. I think this is a hobby team, Garzoli maybe, and this is my favorite way to take this. As you can see, he has a nice gap on me. I come in here super hot, and I'm able to close things down pretty nicely to any break going up there. This is also what I was doing in the Masters earlier, the 35s, being able to shut some things down going through this portion. And that to me, that's how you should be taking this. It's wide open. It's not a problem for getting into corners. Garzoli, he had some good efforts off the front earlier in the day, during the day. And as you can see, that's the way I like to take that corner. Some gentlemen, it's over here. Take a little right, and you can see a little sketchy. So what do? You try to fill in spots. You take a few wheels here and there. Another guy over here, right up in the boot, Thirsty Bear team. Michael Claudio, good guy to obviously get on as well. Very strong, has no problems holding wheels. This is not a super, like I said, this is not a super technical race, so you shouldn't have any problems coming into most of these. But people really have problems coming around these corners, and which you will see some here. Time and time again, and maybe it's a combination of maybe some juniors, maybe some Cat 3s, but look, I mean, we're 3-4 wide. It shouldn't be an issue at all. You should be able to hold wheels, and for the most part, this wasn't a problem. The brake did not get off and stay away for the day, but you do tend to have, I mean, look, when you're coming on the last lap, and you're going to see some out here later on where they're strung out, we're single file, and you will be able to see that, hey, I can see where there'd be a problem coming in here, maybe some gaps forming and allowing that. Right up here, you can see in the white tops are the Oak Valley, I think the Spirulina 2 team this year. Josh Carlene, Matt Tufts, Kevin Tufts brothers, and they do well. And look, these guys are going fine here. We're not laying it over. There's plenty of room on all sides. There should not be any issues. The reason this kind of came about, and I'm doing this video in the first place, is one, my camera crapped out on me near the end, much like my legs did, and two, it's also just I got frustrated during the race about the way some of these guys were cornering, and maybe it's a little too blatant or too going to the wide. There's no need to be going too wide there. But look, this is what you do. People having some problems. This is a ideal time to just be moving up. You can pedal through. I just took 3 or 4 spots there without a problem. That's what you should be concentrating on doing all day long. When you're someone like myself, where the fitness just isn't where these other guys are, you can do that, continually do that all day long. Now this is one where I held it on. We're going to go past the corner here just to kind of give you an idea of how strung out this was. So, you move up. I don't know what those guys are having to do to chase, but I got on the wheel here. I think it's either Alex Holst or Chris Baker. And I'm just going to be able to stick on here. No one's coming around, and we're going to do it all the way up through the start finish. And you're going to see that, if this is the last action of the day, last time you're coming through the last lap, you can have some serious problems of trying to be in the sprint if you're not right up near the front. So, hey, here's another deal. The guy's not really holding the wheel. Not that big of a deal. I'm just going to move up and continue to do this throughout the day. Now, granted, I definitely have my problems. I lose wheels at times too. This is just one way to always, if you're thinking about it on a every wheel, every few meters basis of just how many wheels can I move up. Land park, it's not a big deal because you're going to see. This is what I like. This is stringing it out. That's perfectly fine. You get a position. You just hold it. You're able to, if you could corner well, you're not going to have trouble. It's a good way to get through a race. And I love those 6+ type corner crits where it's just full on like that. You get your spot and you're able to hold it. I can see here. Then later on, this is up near the corner again. We're 4 or 5 wide because it regroups back up. You have Cliff Bar Rider up there. Pete, he tends to in this race he kind of sticks it in later on the race. The last 5-6 laps, he gets really a lot of action going up there. So look, I take the inside over here. There's Alex Holtz. Or is that Baker? I'm not sure which one of those guys. I think it was Holtz. He did a really good job in the Masters earlier in the day, barely getting beat by our teammate John Novikov. The Davis team, they were out in Forest. They did well as well. Like I said, Timmy Bauer over there. Coming back into this, John Novikov, Davis Ryder, Gavin for the Mark Pro team. Let's see, look, there's no need to be going wide. And it's not that big of a deal. Like I said, you've got plenty of room around this thing. But all those little things, for me, like I said, with some fitness issues, you can make do for a day. I can stand into a 70-minute crit, almost making it to the end because I'm able to kind of just preserve energy and do what you want as far as, being able to hold wheels and move along. So coming back into this corner again, Mr. Isaiah Oliver there, he ended up getting 6th on the day. Now look at this move. So you've got a big gap going here. Once again, about 5-6 people fill in front of him. I started talking to Chat about, hey, who's this guy right here? And then Chat, of course, likes to mock me for being an old person. So eventual winner, just a little hint right there. But look, there was about 6-10 riders that just went through us. I was stuck on the inside of this Tarun rider, and he let a bunch go on the outside, and next thing you know, it's in the race here midway through, he's not needed to do probably a bunch of work for that. So, but if that's in the last few laps, you're going to really be having some trouble. But Tarun actually played well with Linder getting 2nd on the day as well. So you got Kevin Tufts, I believe, up here, some Dolce Vita riders. Turun rode really strong. And as you can see, it was also really good weather out there at Land Park. All right. Once again, this is just a little bit. This is the only time I saw anybody almost go down. Josh Carling, you're going to see, I don't know if you could really see right up there on the right white line. I think he gets his front wheel in someone's derailleur and boom, blows his spokes out. That was about the closest thing we had that I can see going to having any issues. And once again, hey, same corner, strung out. I'm trying to move up here. So it's about time for me to do so. Teammate Curt Mills having a good day, just plodding along. As you can see, if you're not in any hurry and you want to just sit around and enjoy the day, I'm not saying that's what these gentlemen are. That's what I am doing right now. Not too bad. There are a few times there where things start to string out, and that's when you try to read it and say, oh, it's time for me to get up near the front. So that's when I'm going to start doing here, popping up the right side and try a different way of going around this corner. Probably not my best, but I'm not taking anybody out. Don't really move up. I do move up here. Actually, this is a little time. You get a little cross check over here. Almost went down. Easy there. Not a big fan of crossing over like 3 different lines, but we're all kind of paying attention, and then you are kind of going around a circle, and you're 3 wide, and all of a sudden you're going to stretch out and try to get in line with everybody. It's a little bit more difficult. So, just one more chance. Someone's going up the road. Now I'm going to start getting up near the front and try to follow a few little moves here. There's always a little corner right here, which is one we keep doing over and over. There's a little rut. If you go too wide there, you get stuck in the rut, and it actually gets me. I think the last time through this on this film, get kind of flicked out. But all right, I'm moving my way up to the front, and once again, it's starting to stretch its way out. No brakes getting up the road, so it's just people putting the pressure on, and a little odd that we didn't get any breakaways going, but that's what you have when they're not big. Some of the big teams, the Mark Pro and Mike's bikes, weren't represented by anybody, just then the one person who, both of them are pretty strong. So once again, there's no real need to be going wide and having an issue, but we're trying to make our way through the day. As you can see, you could get, it's a off camber type of, you're trying to move to the right, and the road's wide, and you're 3 deep, and it's just, it can make it for an interesting day on the corners each time. So I'm not sure why Timmy, why are you standing up? Is that some motocross thing? You never know. People do all kinds of things going through the corners, but Timmy's not a person I'm worried about holding the line or coming into your lane or skipping wheels, pedals, or holding wheels. Did find Josh Wood there. He had a decent time. He got in the break in the Masters race. He's got a huge sprint on him, but I don't know if just maybe his fitness wasn't quite holding up with everyone. But he did fine. So once again, Michael Claudio, good wheel to be on. Going through this, and like I said, a little sketchy there, Davis. Like I said, you find certain people, and sometimes you just kind of stick with those, or who you can come inside on. Like sometimes you don't want to be diving through corners, but this is a course, especially this backside stretch here, where you can, I wouldn't say dive through corners, but you can definitely come through on some of these. So this is another one I'm just going to hold out a little bit longer, showing you kind of, we came through there. We're starting to get near the tail end of the crit here, and things are really starting to pick up. I'm starting to move my way up to the top, 20, 15 here, trying to hold some. It's once again, you're stretching it out. You don't have to worry. You want to be moving up there the closer you get to, obviously, the end of the race, so that you don't have to do as big a move, just moving up. Although this course, can lend yourself to, and you see guys coming off. This course does lend itself to, basically people being able to surge past. But once again, just taking 3 different steps, just holding the wheel that I know Claudio is not going to let gaps go. There was a time, I don't know if I show it here, where I was trying to close down and someone's yelling at me to get it, and I just said I got it, making sure they understood that it wasn't be a problem. So here's one where I kind of dove inside. There's plenty of room to do so. You don't want to do it and cut anybody off, but take 3 guys there, kind of just drift over into getting behind the Dolce Vita and Lander. Everyone's doing fine. Top of the front of the race is right up there, so we're starting to look near the end of the race, probably 6 laps or so here, and things are getting hot, and I think we're coming into about 5 laps to go. Alex Holtz, I'm not sure who this kid is here in the pizza shirt, but he did well all this last few laps. He was doing really well. Stand up near the front. You got the Davis kids; they can really have a strong kick as well. The top 3 here ends up being Matt Chatt, Jeff Linder, and Anthony Ferretti, 3 perennial finishers here in NorCal. I think this is the time where I was trying to get up to the wheel. One thing, but I had to come around to guys, so then I'm having to close it, and someone's yelling at me to do so. I'm like, I got it. At this point, I was feeling just fine. A little bit later, I come across a time where I'm not, and I think we'll highlight that one as well. Coming in once again, same corner. These guys, I probably wasn't as sure of how I wanted to corner with them, but you can see a guy up there with the yellow. This is a little weird strategy as far as how you came around the corners. Some of these too, you can take your angle. I back off on one of these here and then kind of open. You can take a different angle than the guys coming through the front. As long as it's singled out, you can do that a little bit more. But when it gets 3, 4, or 5 wide, Pete heading up to the front. This is where he starts putting his mark on the race. No other teammates for him. Not sure totally why. So this is where things are going. So I'm going to jump on, once again, Michael Claudio's wheels, some of the Mike's development team here. Loving it that it's stringing it out. I don't feel a problem with this. And you can see, it's Pete up there at the front driving it for Cliff Bar. Coming in once again to your corner. How are you going to take this? These guys all do fine, but I do want them to just let off their brakes and see, look at that. Claudio pedals right through. Not a problem. No one's taking anybody's wheel. No one's losing a wheel here. And you're able to coast a little bit and then pedal through. Once again, spread out. Once again, no breaks for the day. Somewhat odd, but like I said, with the teams that were represented, some of them were all just waiting for the sprint to come about. So wasn't really going to be much. Not a fan of how this one, but this is one where you can see, okay, let's see how this thing is set up. And didn't like the way they're doing it, so I'm going to go a little wider. And then, look at the gap. So I'm just going to cut through. You got one guy, and there's a little break going up there. So you're on these guys. If how much effort do you want to do? Well, if you could take it in cornering and eliminate some of the power you have to put out, well, there you go. I don't have to chase. I just close the wheel down. Now let these guys go to drill up to the front. Now, why are they off? It wasn't a break. It was just the way that they're cornering. And 4 to go. So 4 to go. There was a little bit of a preem whistle going here, or a bell that they rang. So this is on a preem lap. There was a little bit. I think those guys are still up the road, and so we're just starting to close them down. And Pete's starting to go again. I'm like, I'm gonna make sure I stay with these. Part of it too is anytime there was a chance of someone accelerating into this corner, I was loving it, because then I could take it the way I wanted to rather than have to complain. So I just wanted to back off, and then I take a better corner, a better line than them, and just line back up once we come through, and never had to really hard accelerate. You just kind of let your momentum shift you right back into the spot, because I didn't like the way that they were. I could see that the way they're lying. I mean, look, you're the first guy through that corner. You should be smoking these things, and that wasn't necessarily the way it was going to be. So this is a preem lap. So we're just going to show this here, take this one on, and Pete's up at the front here, and I don't know why necessarily maybe he was just out for some fitness, and the dude's strong, but you'd think maybe he'd just, someone you never saw take the front all day, just kind of sitting in, was Matt Chatleong. Never saw Freddie really take to the front. Never saw them even trying to venture off the front. I don't even remember Linder doing that. Linder, I just watched his video, we called The Longest Sprint, and he would, motorbike would piss the guy off a little bit, and talked about how, you got to take some chances, but sometimes, depending on a course, you don't have to take the chances. So at this point I decided, I'm pretty sure there's a preem, and we're just cruising through, and it's nice Pete wants to do it, but let's win a preem here. And it was also at this point, I put a little dig in. Right about here, I'm like, well, I look back, there's no one there. I've opened up a decent gap, but I'm like, I'm not going to continue this out. I also realized right here at this point that my day was pretty much done. So my camera ends up dying here in a little bit. We end up getting through the next the corner. But at this point, I'm like, geez, can you guys just relieve me here, take over? and which they did. So now you got Matt Chat. You're 3 to go. This is where all the big hitters start to come to the front. Chat, Freddie over there. Pete. You got Gavin, the Mark Pro. I don't know. No, anyway, I just decided to sit in here. And Dolce Vita guys. Oliver, he does well. Davis kids are coming through. Tarun. There's Linda right over there with his rear camera. He ended up getting second on the day. I really, I guess I'd say go to his camera if you want to see how the race ended up out here. But anyway, this is just my deal of the corner. No one else is really just focusing on this back corner. Oh, Claudio taking it. This is what you can do. You can bum rush that section up there and try to take advantage of it. So my goal here was to try to sit in and see what I can do for the sprint with these guys, but it did not happen. So thanks for tuning in and enjoy. I would try to, I'll link over here to maybe some other one's video on the end of the race so you can see who the winner is. Matt Chat first, Jeff Linder second, and Anthony Ferretti third. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed what we had here for a little cornering exposition. If you saw yourself in one of those corners, hope you did well, and take care.